Okay.
Thank you. Hello, Lorna. Please proceed.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mark. And again, good afternoon, everyone. It is my honor and privilege to be here today to facilitate this workshop. Actually, you are now joining one of our workshop series on caring for caregivers. So if there is any one of you who have joined us previously on our health and wellness seminars, thank you once again for joining us. I'm also happy to have our integration program officers here, Alina and Claire. And of course, I mostly appreciate everyone, all of you, my clients who have expressed their interest in getting information from this webinar. So I really hope that everything will become successful at the end with your cooperation. So I'm basically discussing today about temporary residence to permanent residence pathway, which is one of the pathways wherein economic workers, like most of you who are my clients, would get into. So I believe that this is a good privilege for you to get into as long as you will qualify. So this afternoon, I will be dealing on 4 subsections. First, I will deal on the overview of the program, TR to PR. And then secondly is how to apply, wherein I will be dealing most of the time in here. So if you have any questions in the middle of my discussion, you can just raise your hand or you may type your questions. And then of course, we will go into how to pay your fees. And finally is how to submit your application, including signing of your documents virtually. So next slide, Mr. Mark, please. We come to the overview. So in the overview, I will discuss about the program. Excuse me, Angelo, help me. How can I remove this? This meeting is being recorded. Yeah. It is showing. How can we remove this, Mr. Mark? Yeah.
It does not show on the other screen. You can just move it down, but it doesn't show.
Yeah, because it's covering my slides.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah,
Angelo, can you go over?
Continue. Click continue.
Just continue. Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, we come now to the overview. Okay. So TR to PR pathway is a limited time pathway to permanent residence. It is certain for temporary residents who are currently working in Canada and their families, if they have their families with them. And to those who have work experience in Canada in an essential occupation or the health or health services field, or those who recently graduated from a Canadian post-secondary institution. Next slide, please. There are 6 streams in this program, and we can see here with the application limits. So our first stream will be workers in Canada, English speaking, under the healthcare. And the cap here is 20,000. And today, as I checked early this morning, there are already 2,529 applicants under this stream. The second one is called the Stream B workers in Canada, English speaking. And these are those working in the essential non-healthcare. So the cap for this is 30,000. And as I checked yesterday, applicants are already 30,000. So it may show that it shows that it has already been filled in. And it is a big jump from July 15 because it was only 24,000, and after a day it's already 30,000. So it is very fast. So the third stream is the recent international graduates from a Canadian institution, which is 40,000 cap, and it has already been filled in. So it was filled up so early. And then the other three streams are under the French-speaking workers, the healthcare, French-speaking workers, Canada Essential Non-Healthcare, and the French-speaking recent international graduates from a Canadian institution. So all these French-speaking streams have unlimited caps. So they remain to be open. Okay, next slide. We come to the language requirement. So as an applicant in TR to PR pathway, you have to prove your ability in English or French. The minimum Canadian benchmark requirement is level 4. So I will be discussing this later. So in these 4 levels, reading, writing, speaking, and listening. So there are different institutions that may assess your language ability, and that would be explained further when I come to the how to apply. So it is very important that you submit your results from an approved language test with your application. So these results must be less than 2 years when you apply. So previously there were those applying who didn't receive the results yet. But when you apply for TR to PR, definitely you need to submit your certificate of passing. Next, you need to be currently employed. Okay, so to be eligible in this application, be employed in Canada when you submit your application. Be employed in any job that exists in the NOC website. Be employed by someone else, meaning you cannot apply when you are self-employed or doing a cash job. Okay, be employed by your employer, meaning you cannot be a volunteer as well. Okay, and finally, be working with authorization, meaning you need to have your work permit. Next, work experience. When you apply to TR to PR pathway, you need to have been working for at least 1 year. In terms of hours, it says 1,560 hours. So that is within the past 3 years that you have been working. The next, most of the many duties, the essential duties listed in the NOC, you should be doing all those duties that are listed in your National Occupation Code. Okay, then the hours must be in 1 or more eligible essential occupations, or a combination of 1 or more eligible essential occupations and eligible healthcare occupations. Well, I'd like to explain this to you, okay, because among caregivers, those working in the caregiver program, there are those working interchangeably between the elderly and child care. So first, you may have filled in the 1,560 hours first on just the elderly, the other one are just the child care, or combined. Okay, if you are working interchangeably between the seniors and child care, as long as you have completed the 1 year work of experience. Next. So as I was saying, the eligible occupations under the caregiving program. So if you are working with a family with children, so your NOC code is 4411. Go back to previous slide, please. Okay, so home child care providers, your NOC is 4411. So that you are to apply on the stream B if you are working in this area. And then if you are working with seniors or elderly and with persons with higher medical needs, your NOC is 4412. And you have to apply in stream A. Okay, so you go to stream A and you are under the healthcare. Okay, next slide. Okay, we come now. So I'm done with the overview of TR to PR. Now we come to how to apply. And it is very important that you are really prepared once you apply. And this will serve as your guide. So number one, make sure that you are eligible to apply. So there is actually a tool that we can use when you go into this. So you can use the eligibility tool, which is online. Okay, so this will make you sure that you are eligible in your application. So we review in this tool, you can review the detailed eligibility requirements. If you don't meet the requirements of at least one stream, your application for permanent residence will be refused. And take note that once that you submit your application, you will not receive a refund of your application fees. So your application fee is 550. So if you are refused, you cannot get that. But I believe you can refund your landing fee or your RPRF, which is $500. Okay, next slide. Okay, I would like to discuss to you the eligibility tool, and which you can find online, of course. So these important basic questions will lead you to go to the portal in applying. So if you are not careful in answering this, so that will give you a problem in going to the application portal. So first question is, are you currently in Canada? So you have to answer yes, because you are in Canada working with your work permit. Okay, so that's why there's a follow-up question. Number two, do you have a valid work or study permit in the case of those international students? So you should answer yes. So whether you are a student or a temporary worker, you answer yes in this part. Then third question is, are you currently employed? Okay, so you have to answer yes, because this is the basic requirement. You, as I discussed earlier, you need to be currently working to be eligible. Next slide. Okay, next question is, do you plan to live outside Quebec? So based on experience, there were those who were confused. So the question is, do you plan to live outside Quebec? Okay, so other than Quebec. So if you are working in Quebec, you are not eligible. So you answer here, yes. So you work outside Quebec. Next question is, do you have at least 1 year of work experience? Okay, so this may sound repetitive, but this is very important. You have to count your work hours based on your record in the CRA, because of course they will check. Okay, that's why your employers are submitting your pay stubs every month, and whatever they submitted CRA, those are the counted hours of your work. And again, remember that this is the past 3 years. Okay, so if you have been working beyond 4 years, those are not included, only the past 3 years. So your answer here is yes. Next question. Do you have a total of at least 1 year of work experience, at least 1,560 hours? So as you can see, another repeated question. But there is here a continuation. So in this question, it is being emphasized if you've been working in essential occupation. So that is work 4411, NOC 4411, or NOC 4412. So meaning, for example, before you became a caregiver and you have work in other economic job, for example, in farming, those hours that you work in farming are not included. So only in the NOC codes 4411 and 4412 jobs. Okay, so if you did that, then you answer yes in this question. Next. Okay, did you graduate from an eligible program in a designated learning institution? Okay, so this is applicable for those students, international students. Okay, so since you are not an international student and you did not study in Canada, then say no. But if you have studied here prior to application, then you may answer yes. Okay. Next question. Have you taken an approved language test to assess your English or French skills? If the test results will be more than 2 years old when you apply, select no. Okay, so remember that the qualification in your language test certificate should be within 2 years. Make sure that it has not expired or 2 years old. Okay, and you check yes if you are sure based on the language benchmark that you have really passed. Okay, later I will discuss to you further about the CLB. Okay, on pertaining to your scores in IELTS or in CELPIP. Okay, so if you are very sure that you have passed the language test, then you check yes. And if it is more than 2 years old certificate, you check no. Okay, next. What level does it show you scored, reach speaking and listening? Okay, so this is the benchmark that I was telling you about. Okay, as caregivers, okay, at least you have to check here level 4 because that's the passing score. That is your CLB. Okay, but if you have got to higher than level 4, then you check level 5. It says here level 5 or higher. Okay, but if you check level 3 or below, that will affect your eligibility because you need to pass the level 4. Next question, was your language test in English or French? So I believe most of you have taken the English test. So you check the English. Next. Okay, so we're done with the eligibility tool. We come now to the second part of how to apply. And this is a reminder regarding the do-it-yourself or DIY procedure as familiar to us. Okay, So remember that there is a limit on the use of authorized representatives. Okay, authorized representatives meaning immigration consultants or the registered lawyers and immigration consultants. Okay, so applicants are advised to do the application by themselves once the portal is opened. The portal is a tool to be used by clients to upload IRCC forms and supporting documents required. Okay, take notes on this third item. Immigration consultants or lawyer may assist client with their application. Okay, so meaning during your preparation, you may seek their assistance. Okay, even us as settlement counselors, this is what we're doing to you. We can assist you in understanding the forms and documents that you need to prepare. But take note on this. So your consultants or anybody who is assisting you should not log in to the portal using a client's credentials or sign the application for them. So it is a no-no that you let your consultants do everything. You need to do it yourself once you have to log in to your portal until the signing and submitting of your application. Okay, next. Okay, the number 3 in how to apply. Okay, so you have to get ready by gathering the documents required. Okay, so remember with my terms, especially you who will be calling me soon for assistance. If I say documents, these are the documents. And if I say forms, that's the next that I will discuss to you. So forms and documents are very much different, of course. So these are the documents. Yan, mga dokumento na ipiprepare natin. Okay. So first, okay, so this is basically pertaining to TR to PR application. Okay. First, you need to have your passports. Okay. You as the principal applicant, as the healthcare provider, caregiver in Canada, you need to have your valid passport upon application. So even your dependents, whether they are here or back in your home country, they need to have a copy, a digital copy of their passports. Okay, next is all of you as part of the application, you as the principal applicant and your dependents need to submit your birth certificates. Okay, your birth certificates, if you are a Filipino, it has to be NSO or PSA certified. PSA means Philippine Statistics, ano nga ba yung A? Association, I can't remember. Yeah, but you know that PSA certified should be for your birth certificates. Also with your marriage certificate. Okay, both of these need to be PSA certified. Okay. For your dependents who may still be single, but already 18 years old, they need to submit certificate of no marriage, familiarly known among us Filipinos as SENOMAR certificate. So from those 17 years old above among your dependent children. Okay, next is police clearance certificate. So if you have your dependents like your husband and your children 18 years old and above, all of you should submit this police clearance certificate. Okay, I'd like to clarify this. So what is meant by police clearance certificates for Filipinos? It's the NBI. You do not need to get police clearance from your barangay or your municipality. So just submit and prepare NBI, because a lot from previous applicants, they still seek for police clearance certificate from their city or municipality. That's no need. Only the National Bureau of Investigation, or NBI, police clearance. And the purpose is multi-purpose, not the visa to Canada or immigration to Canada. No, you ask the NBI to put multi-purpose in your certificate. Okay, next document is upfront medical information sheets. Okay, I understand that you don't have this right away, and some of you have already expired medical information. It's okay to submit the expired, but you have to attach an explanation letter that you have applied or you have a booking for your medical exam. So this is also applicable with your family members back home. Okay, this is important that you submit your booking for medical examination if you don't have the medical information sheets. To those who already have and have undergone this and still within the past 12 months, then that is valid, then submit that medical information sheet. Okay, next documents required in TR to PR are your entry documents and status. Okay, so your entry documents include your entry visa. So your visa when you first came into Canada, and in that visa, it stated there that you are coming to Canada as a worker. So that is your entry document. And also include your initial work permit, the very first work permit issued to you when you got into a border or in the airport the first time you came to Canada. So those two documents are enough to suffice this part, entry documents and status. And Mr. Angelo, do you have any idea what else we can include in these entry documents and status?
Oh, Tita Lorna, we can have of course, the immigration visa stamp in the passport, right?
Oh yeah, yes. Yeah, okay, yes, the stamp pages of your passport. Yes, when you entered Canada. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Angelo. Yeah, that's a very good document. Okay. Then next will be a set of documents that would serve as your proof of authorization to work. Okay. So guys, are you taking notes? Hello? Yeah, I hope you're taking notes. Yes, because, yeah, thank you. Because I did not specify this, what those documents are under these categories. Yeah, thank you. Okay, under your proof of authorization to work. Okay, so first you include here your current or your valid work permit. Okay, and then include here your current letter of employment or reference letter from your current employers. Okay. So those will serve as your authorization to work. Okay, some have their LMIA, positive LMIA statement from their employers, so you can also include that. Only those the latest LMIA. And employment contract. Okay, so those are enough to suffice this part, as proof of authorization to work. Again, Sir Angelo, you have other documents to add here?
No, all that, Tita Lorna.
Yeah, okay. So the work permit, the letter of employment,
Mhm.
and the latest LMIA and employment contract. Okay. Well, folks, when you submit, you cannot submit the documents separately. You have to make one file for all those documents. And I remember they need to be in PDF form, everything. Okay, so those are the documents that you may include in this proof of authorization to work. Next, documents that will prove your qualifying work experience. Okay, in this part, each of you vary because you have different work experience in the past. Okay, so here you may include all your documents related to your CRA documents. So, for example, your notice of assessment, since you started applying for your tax in Canada. So everything, if you came in 2018, so you need to submit NOAs 2018, 19, and 20. Okay, same thing, you can include here your T4s. Okay, so from the very beginning that you have started applying as well. Okay, so notice of assessment, T4s, and then your record of employments, if you have changed your employers within the course of your work. Okay. You may also include here, although in TR to PR, you're exempted from your ECA, education assessment. It is good to include here your credentials related to your work as caregivers or healthcare providers. For example, your trainings related to healthcare, your trainings to caregiving, or personal support workers, all those certificates that you have, you may include here. Okay. And what else, Sir Angelo, again, that they can include?
Payroll or pay stub.
Yes. So your pay stubs, do they need to submit all those monthly, or some are able to get summary, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes, the summary of those 1 year or 2 years pay slips. Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Are there some more? Yeah, so I know he's,
No.
yeah, okay. So those are enough to prove that you qualify in your work. Okay, next, and this is very important, your language test report. Okay, so it is a great privilege for you caregivers that through TR to PR, next slide, please, CLB has been lowered to 1 point, all right? Because in PR application for caregivers under the regular applications, the CLB, okay, next slide. Yes, okay. So under the regular application for caregivers, CLB used to be 5, but in TR to PR, they have lowered down to 4. But still, you have to understand the corresponding scores in each 4 levels. Okay, if you have taken the SALPIP, okay, so your general average should be 4, and to all subcategories, reading, writing, speaking, and listening should be 4. Okay, so in the event that your application for TR to PR is already closed because the cap has already been filled in, okay, then you will go back to the regular policy, which is you need to have the 5 level score in SALPIP. Okay. In IELTS, Okay, so there is varied scores here. It's lower than CELPIP. Although the general CLB average should be 4, but subcategories, okay, be careful with this. So your reading must be minimum of 3.5. Writing is 4. Speaking is 4.5. And listening is 4. Okay, again, in Filipino, wala na pong tawad. Sorry na lang, walang tawad. Okay, so these are the minimum scores. Okay, so take note on this. To those who were able to pass and got higher, congratulations. Some of you have notified me last week. Okay, so this is how we describe the CLB level in language requirement. Next. Aren't there any questions yet? I think it's time to answer questions if there are any, Sir Angelo. There are 4 messages in the chat.
So no questions in the chat box.
Okay, so no questions yet. Okay, we continue then. Okay, we come now to how to apply number 4. That is
Okay.
yeah.
Sorry, Tita Lorna.
Yes.
Gulen, I do not know what is the real name, wants to ask question.
Yeah, please state your real name first. Oh, it's Teresa May. Okay. What do you mean wait? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Or we can have Eloisa, Tita Lorna.
Eloisa is Teresa May?
Yeah, no. Eloisa Tolosa have a question. Reference letter or letter of employment, is that the same or different?
It may be the same, but usually if we say reference letter, that is if you have already started working from them and you are moving to another employer. Okay, so that could be a reference letter. Usually that is how it is described in the regular application of PR under the HCCP. Okay, but in PR to PR, what is required is employment letter, meaning just to certify that you are continuing to work with them. So currently you are with your employer, so it should be the employment letter or certification of employment. That is if you are still working with them. Hello?
Yeah.
Asan siya? Tinype lang siya. You're welcome, yes. Teresa May. Yeah. Eloisa Tulosa. Okay.
Okay. No more question for now.
Okay, so I can continue. Okay, how to apply? We go to number 4. That is in preparing your forms. Okay. So first form that you need to prepare is the generic form, and that is IMM 0008. And the date should be March 2021. So whenever you download the form, you check the date at the bottom, meaning that is the latest form that you are applying. Because in some cases, when you just Google, okay, Google would give you even the old forms. Okay, so make sure that the form that you are uploading is dated 03/2021. Because if you download older than that, you cannot find PR to PR pathway in that form. Okay, so date is 03/2021. Okay, when you open and fill in a generic form, what pops up right away is an application for one single person. Okay, the old forms, the form comes with for 2 persons, but this one, so this is the sign that you are clicking the right form. If it opens, it's only for 1 person. If you have dependents, for example, a spouse or 1 child, then you can click add. Okay, there is a blue thing, square blue at the bottom. So you just click add. Okay, so add applicant, something like that. So you can click up to 4 times, I think 5 times, if you have a spouse and 4 children. But if you have, oh wait, spouse and 4 children, yes. If you have 5 children or more, then that's the time that you use another kind of form, the additional forms, okay, which it may pop up later, okay, for your dependents. Okay, so generic application, you need only to fill in just 1 application, generic application in your application, not 1 generic form for each dependent, no. So you just need 1 generic application for the whole family. Okay. Next form is the Schedule A background declaration, and that is the IMM 5669. So the date at the bottom, this is the latest form, is dated June 2019. Okay, 06-2019. Okay, so with Schedule A background form, you need to prepare 1 for yourself, 1 for your spouse if applicable, and each one of your dependent children if they are 18 years old and above. Okay? So lahat po ng 18 years old and above need to apply the Schedule A background form. Okay, next is your Schedule 3 temporary resident to PR resident pathway. Okay, the number of this form is IMM 0130. And there is only 1 form yet when you Google, and the date is March 2021, 03-2021. Okay, I believe this is this has been designed for TR to PR pathway. So this is a new form. Next form is the additional family information form, the IMM 5406. And the latest form we have here is August 2020. So it should be 08-2020, which you can find at the bottom of the page. Excuse me. So each family member, again, from 18 years old and above, need to have 1 5406 form each. Okay, below 18, no need to fill in this form. Okay, then last form is the supplementary information form, your travels. That is the IMM 5562. So the the newest form for this is dated January 2021. So 01-2021. So there are older forms for this. So make sure that you are filling in the latest one. Next. Okay. So this was what I was saying, that you have 5 or more children, you need to fill in this additional dependent declaration form. Okay, so IMM 008 additional dependents. Okay, next is declaration form or non-accompanying parent or guardian for minors. If you are a single mom and even married, or divorced, and the father of your children or mother of your children, if you're a father who is here, are not accompanying, okay, so the parent is not coming, should fill in IMM 5604. Okay, for your children who are minors, meaning 17 years old and below. Okay, so this IMM 5604 has to be filled in for each minor child and has to be notarized, okay, legalized or notarized back home by a notary public. Okay, and you should attach a copy of an ID of that non-accompanying parent. So it could be, in the Philippines, it could be a passport or a driver's license, or I think voter's ID, as long as there is a picture and a signature, okay, in that or in those IDs. Okay. Another form required is Statutory Declaration of Common Law Union, IMM 5409. This is applicable only if your partner is here in Canada, because in the Philippines, common law partner is not actually legal. We call it the live-in partner. We don't have legal forms to prove our live-in partners in the Philippines. So these you need if you have a common law partner in Canada. Okay, and use of representative. Okay, but as I was saying, this may not be applicable if you really have done the DIY and you are not requiring a representative to represent you in your application, which actually we as settlement counselors or settlement workers, we are not feeling this use of representative because we only serve as someone assisting you in your applications. But when you apply, you are doing it yourself. Okay, so I hope that is clear to you. Okay, next. Okay, now we come to number 5 on how to apply. So this is when you already have prepared all your documents and your forms, and you believe you have already set everything in your SOP file. You have carefully made document files in your computer, and you are ready to upload them in your portal. Okay, so create your account and upload the documents. Okay, here you are going to get your document checklist. Okay, remember many of you have been asking me before if I have a document checklist for TR to PR. No, because each of the applicant may have varied document checklists depending on your family situations. Okay, so you need to create your own account and document checklist once you get into the portal. Okay, so to get your document checklist on your application online, you must create an account. In your account, you will be asked some questions about your application. You will then see a document checklist that tells you all the documents you need to submit. So meaning this is including your dependents or your family members. Then after you fill out the application forms, you will upload them to your account, each file for your documents and form. Okay, next.
Rosadio has a question. Will you read it, Angelo?
Yeah, Angelo, I believe there are questions.
The question is regarding with the non-accompanying form. I did not attach a copy of valid ID with my husband. Does it affect my application?
Okay. Well, I believe because this is our first time for TR to PR, an online application for PR among caregivers. But based on the paper applications before, if you miss a document, for example, like you miss to put the ID of the father of your children in the form, I believe that they will send you a letter and they will request you to submit a copy of an ID. I never in my experience as a worker that they return the whole application for that particular missing ID. Yeah, I had clients before who missed to submit. They only give a request letter to submit a copy of the ID via web form or mail. Okay. Okay, you're welcome, Adil. Is there any other question? Okay, so this is a very good question, Teresa May. Do we need to print the forms and then sign, scan, and submit? Okay, so there are forms that you need to print and then sign, scan again, and make a file. Okay, for example, in your IMM 5669, that is your Schedule A background. Because in the form, it is not, more often than not, the form is not enough to fill in the history of your jobs and the history of your address. Sometimes the list is not enough. So in that case, you have to prepare another extra page. Okay, so in such case, you need to scan the filled in document and you insert that page. Okay, for example, that is page 2. Usually page 2 of the Schedule A background don't have enough space. So you have to prepare another page for that. It could be in a plain print paper or bond paper, and then make that as your page 3. Okay, and just take note in the top that it's a continuation of your work history or activity history. Okay, but with your generic form, you don't need to. Okay, just type your name in the application or in the signature box. You can type your name in the application box and then validate so that a barcode would generate. Okay, and that's it. You just make a file and you load the form. You don't have to scan. Okay, so it's only IMM 5669 that I used to fill in. Oh, one more form is the family information form. For example, you have more than 4 siblings or children. So the form will not be enough. So in that case, use extra form to add the information of your siblings. So in that case, you have to scan as much as pages as you need, depending on the numbers of your siblings. Okay, so sign and then scan and make a file. But if you only have 3 siblings, you don't need extra page, then it's fine. You don't have to sign and scan, okay? Just submit it. Is that okay? Did I answer your questions?
Yes po, ma'am. Thank you po.
You're welcome.
Kasi ma'am, yung iba po, hindi na po nag-print.
Oh, what do you mean? Like
lahat po ng forms, ma'am, hindi na po nila ipinirint. In-upload na lang po nila. Kaya po, nagtataka po ako bakit po yung kailangan pong i-print, then sign. Yung iba po, hindi na.
Yeah, yun nga, yung explanation ko, pag may additional sheets, you have to print and sign and then submit with the additional pages. Pero yung usually yung mga barcoded, like generic form, you don't have to print and scan. No need, okay?
Ma'am, basta po, makita po yung barcode. Ibig sabihin po na validate po yun, ma'am.
Yes. Kailangan validated. It should be validated. Okay. Yeah, actually, it's only generic form that needs validation. Okay, all the rest, no. But even though you don't sign it sign them as long as complete, and then the pages required is enough, complete, then you don't have to sign. It's in the instruction, actually. It's in the instruction. You don't need to sign as long as completed form.
Apo. Thank you po, ma'am.
You're welcome, Teresa.
There is a question from Richo. What if we have new LMIA and we are just waiting for our new work permit result? Is it good to apply again for this?
Oh, yeah. I need a follow-up question with this. If you have a new LMIA and you applied in regular PR application, meaning outside TR to PR, yeah, and your work permit is expiring, you really need to have new LMIA and apply for new work permit. But for example, you applied for PR and you receive your AOR, you receive an eligibility letter, you don't need a new LMIA. Just apply for open work permit using your eligibility letter. You will be approved for open work permit. Okay, so that is in the event that you applied for the regular or HCCP or in-home caregiver PR application. But if you applied for TR to PR and your work permit is expiring, okay, there is a new policy with this released last July 14. That all TR to PR applicants who have submitted their application using your confirmation of application, after you submitted your form, there is a letter that generated in your email saying that you successfully submitted your application. You can use that as a document to apply for your open work permit, but you can only do that beginning July 26. So that's the new policy for TR to PR open work permit privilege. Any follow-up question?
So even we are waiting for the work permit, ma'am, is it we can still apply for this? Because my work permit expire on 30th and we are waiting for the for the
new work permit.
New work permit. Yeah. So
yeah. Okay.
And then they were gonna open on July 26, right? So while we're waiting for the work permit, is it possible that we can still apply for this? Because I am one of the applicants for the TR to PR.
Yes. Okay. That's a very good question, Richard. Yes. So I'd like to rephrase. If you have already applied for TR to PR and waiting for a result, but since your current work permit is expiring, your employer applied for new LMIA, so you can renew your work permit. And that happened. You already submitted, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that's fine because you have nothing to do anymore. You have already submitted. Now, the question is, can you avail this bridging open work permit offered? Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You can apply because what your employer applied is extension of your work permit.
Yes. Okay.
with employer designated work permit. So
Yes.
meaning you cannot get out and work outside them. But
Yes.
I suggest why not take this opportunity to get the open bridging. BOWP means bridging open work permit, meaning since this is your privilege as TR to PR applicant, then you apply for open work permit.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, you're welcome. Thank you as well.
There is
Okay.
a question from a participant that I won't mention the name.
Okay.
My divorce paper is still on process. Do I need to fill up or sign a form for my ex-husband information and upload it on the portal? Thank you.
Oh yeah, so that's a very good question, and yeah, I encountered that as well. Okay, this one is I am not really very sure because you are not yet divorced if you don't have the divorce certificate yet. Okay, right? So it is said in the instruction of application that you need to submit a divorce certificate. So meaning you cannot submit a divorce order. So because what you have is divorce order when your application is on process. So to me, I used to advise to really have to wait for the divorce certificate because that is required. Yeah, so really have to wait for the divorce certificate. But there are those, yeah, who have consulted me that they did their application and they submitted the divorce certificate and explanation that divorce application is on process. That I don't know. I cannot represent IRCC. I don't know how they would really respond to that. So I suggest if you have already submitted the divorce order, yeah, just wait for their follow-up request. But definitely, yeah, there were those who applied paper-based, and they did the same thing. They applied the divorce order and explanation, and then IRCC told them and advised them that submit to us the divorce certificate as soon as you receive it. Yeah, hopefully that will happen to you. Thank you. Any follow-up to that?
Yeah. Mia raise hand. Do you have a question, Mia? Your microphone's mute. Yes, Mia.
Yes, I have a question regarding about the confirmation letter. As I already told Lorna about the problem I have. Because I deleted some of my emails, and one of the emails that accidentally deleted.
Sorry, there is some noise on your microphone. Maybe you can type the question or ask a question again. And okay, we come back to you, Lisa. Lisa, do you have a question? I see you raise your hand.
Hello?
Yes, Lisa.
Narinig ba ako?
Yeah, Lisa, what's your real name?
Flor de Lisa Pastora.
Ah, yeah, Flor de Lisa Asuncion, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Well,
Yes.
my concern, Pastora, is this one. My two sons are ages 23 and 17 years old.
Uh-huh.
And of course, I have also planned in the future to apply for the PR. So
Uh-huh.
in this case, when I will file my application, I will only be filing with me my youngest son then.
Yes. because your 23 years old is no longer eligible, because the instruction is your dependent children, once you apply, should be 22 years old and below. Once that your dependent child is already 22, he or she is no longer eligible as your dependent. Not unless your son is like physically challenged, or there is a problem with the
Okay.
health, or in
Got it,
development.
Pastora. A follow-up question also with regards to my, my situation, Pastora. What about my, shall I call? Of course, I cannot still say it officially as estranged husband, but we are separated with my husband for a very long time ago already. But I'm still carrying his name. I mean, his family name. So will it automatically he be included to my application if ever, or I cannot include him anymore in my application?
Okay, so based on my experience in the past, if even though you would state in your application that you've been legally separated, you need to submit a legal document from the Philippines, and specifically it should be from a Philippine court stating that you've been separated for certain reasons. Other than that, you need to have a divorce certificate in Canada.
So before I will apply for my PR, if ever, Pastora, I should have to have that divorce phase. Oh, I see.
Yes,
Okay.
it's a requirement. When you go in TR to PR, that is really one item that you need to fill in. Yeah, it's either a divorce certificate or legalization paper certification from a Supreme Court. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Pastor.
You're welcome. Thank you for your questions.
There are some more questions, but let's proceed with the presentation. Then we will answer the questions at the end.
Okay, Mr. Mark. Yeah, so thank you so much for raising questions, folks, but I need to continue. Okay, so we come to number 6, how to apply. Okay, and this is a part of requiring your biometrics. Okay, so get your fingerprints and photo taken. So if you're 14 and up to 79 years old, you need to give your fingerprints and photos. See, this is your biometrics. So next bullet is very important for you to understand, because some were confused. Like they would say they already had their biometrics when they came to Canada. So it says here, this applies even if, you see, you already had your biometrics in the past. So if you receive in the near future, about biometrics instruction, you still have to do that in Service Canada. Okay, so you have to go and have your biometrics taken if you already did that prior to your initial arrival in Canada. So when you receive a letter, you need to do that. Okay, then you must pay the biometric fee when you submit your application. If you are single, okay, or your dependent child, if you're a single mom, is below 14, then you don't have to pay, you only pay biometric fee for yourself. Okay, and that is $85. But if you have a spouse and dependent children ages 14 and above, you have to pay the $170. That is the family fee for biometrics. So whether you have one or more children of 14 and above, is still the same, $170 for a family. Okay. So give your biometrics as soon as you get the letter, and you only have 30 days from the date on the letter to give your biometrics. Okay, next. Okay, now we come to paying your fees. Okay, but before we come to this, when you get to the TR2PR application, there's a button at the top of your page of your application. You click pay your fees. Once that there is a clearance, there is a green check at the bottom of your application. And if that green check would state that this page is ready, that's the only time that you can click the pay your fees. But if you don't see any green check yet at the bottom of your application, you cannot continue your application. You cannot go to pay your fees, meaning there are still items or requirements not loaded or uploaded. Okay, I hope that is clear to you. Okay, so once that your page is ready, you can go to pay your fees. Okay, so here is the common question required. Okay, where are you paying from? So what is asked is country actually. So of course you pay Canada. Okay, so you click Canada. Maybe you feel like you're in the Philippines and you click Philippines, then you cannot go through properly. Okay, so click Canada. Then what type of application are you submitting? So click only TR to PR. Okay, and then which permanent residence program or document you are applying for. Oh, sorry. So what type of application you are submitting? Okay, you are supposed to click here in Canada permanent residence. Okay, I hope you take note. I was wrong. Okay, so you click in Canada permanent residence. And then number 3 is more specified which PR program or document you're applying. This is the time that you click PR to PR pathway. Okay, next. Okay, after you paid your application, there is instruction before we go on signing. There is instruction at the bottom of the page in paying your fees that you have to save your receipt and make a file for your receipt, then upload again as part of your checklist. Okay, so once that you have uploaded your saved receipt, then there is another green check again at the bottom of the page, and it says this page is ready. And then that's the time that you can pursue and go to signing your application. Okay, so do not expect that you can you sign through your pen and everything. This is digital signing, and this is what happens. So in this page, it says here, signature. I agree that by submitting this application, I am electronically signing the application. All you need to do is type your name, okay? Do not be confused. It is ask your given name first, because usually we are asked to sign or to type last name usually. So I had a client who called me and said, oh, I put my last name instead of given name. So be careful. So what is asked first is your given name. And then the second box is your last name. Okay, and then it says here, solemnly declare that the information I have provided is true and that the documents I am submitting in support of my application are genuine and have not been altered in any way. Okay, so sorry, I wasn't able to have the screenshot of it, but at the bottom of this page, there is this submit. Okay, so that's the time that your application has already been submitted, and a page will be generated saying that you have successfully submitted your application. Okay, and then after a few minutes, you will receive the confirmation in your email. Okay, next. Yes, so at this time, we entertain more questions.
So the next question is, what if your employer decided to lay you off while your TR to PR is still on process? Will it affect the application?
Okay, thank you for that question. No, because your application has already been submitted. So again, this is your privilege to apply for your bridging open work permit. So if you have already been laid off, then, well, sorry, unfortunately, so they're laying you off. So you have a chance to look for another employer, but you have to apply for your bridging open work permit first. Okay, as I discussed earlier, you have the privilege to apply for open work permit once you have the confirmation of your TR to PR application. That's the only major document that you have to attach in your application. You're welcome, Teresa Ming.
The next question is similar. I have submitted already my TR to PR application, but last June the 17th, I was terminated, but I tried to find another employer and they are willing to hire me and apply already for new LMIA. So my question is, if I apply my new working permit, can I apply OWP?
Okay, so that is your option. If you want to wait for your regular work permit with designated employer and you're willing to work with them, that is fine because you have already paid for 155. But if you want to apply for bridging open work permit, that's fine also. So they will remain to be valid both. If your bridging open work permit arrives, fine. So at least in the event that something wrong's happened with your new employer again, then you have a backup work permit and it's an open work permit. You don't have to apply for another work permit for the next new employer if that case happens. Okay, so it's okay. Just wait for your regular work permit with your new employer. But it is your choice if you want to apply for the privilege of having the open work permit or not. Thank you.
This is the
Follow-up
question.
question to that, Pastora.
Hey, hello, who is this?
Yeah, Flor, there is a Pastora, Flor.
Okay, Flor.
This is a question from my friend. I just want to shoot it because she asked me to ask this one. What if she is still in the Lamia work permit, but she is working with her employer already for almost 2 years, something like that? So can she apply for open permit before her permit expires with her present employer?
No, because, okay, so she has not applied for PR yet, right?
No, not yet.
No,
Pastora.
you cannot apply for open work permit if you have not applied for PR yet. Yeah.
Okay, well taken, Pastora.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Mangalat tayo tagpapada tayo. Tatay isuot ng kuano rumor tayo. Alan.
Ni mangmangagda kayo. Okay. Sorry.
Hey, Ate Lorna.
Oh, hi, Mia.
Yeah, about the question I raised about a while ago about I deleted the confirmation letter.
Okay.
Yeah, the email. I have the receipt and the picture of like congratulations after that, but the email I accidentally deleted it. Even in the trash bin, I deleted it. So I don't know what to do about applying for the open work because my work permit will gonna be expired soon, like August.
Okay, did you try to go back to your portal?
I tried to go back to the portal, but I don't know where to check the application because you cannot check the application not unless you have the AOR.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. It's my first case for this, but you still have your receipt, right? You have your receipt. Hello, Mia? You're muted.
Because
Yeah.
maybe
Okay. I have the picture and I also have the it's the picture that says congratulations because I
Okay.
took the picture of it, and then I have the receipt too. But the confirmation email I deleted it. So
Oh, yeah. Okay, we will try to print that, yung screenshot mo, and then your receipt. Okay, yeah, you try to do that, and an explanation letter that you accidentally deleted your email regarding your confirmation. Yeah, I hope they will consider because you don't have your application numbers yet, and they know that because they're not releasing AOR yet.
yeah, we didn't.
Yeah, so to just provide whatever you have. So you have that picture, print that, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, are there some more questions?
Yeah.
Um,
What if there's a question from Teresa? What if my name was misspelled in the immigration medical records? Will that affect the application?
I think no. If it's medical, but usually if your name is misspelled in your work permit, that's the time that you apply for amendment. But for medical information sheet, yeah, I never experienced applying for amendment for medical applications. So just submit that and attach your passport and your work permit as a proof that because that is a clerical error of the clinic, something like that. So I think you will accept it. Yeah, just attach your passport and your work permit with the correct spelling.
Lisa has your hand is raised. Do you have a question, Lisa? How about Ethel Ramos? Do you have a question? Yeah, you have raised hand.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Ate Lorna.
Yeah.
How can do I need to like sign up for the form and bring it to you again so you could help me attach it, or I could do it at home by myself?
The open work permit?
Yes, po.
Yeah, okay. You can book an appointment if you want to do it via online or email or Zoom like this or via messenger call. I can assist you because you already have the forms with you. I mean documents required. What requirement you only need to add is your that confirmation letter. I can instruct you and you can do it by yourself, I believe. But if you think you're not confident enough, Angela and I are here to assist you in applying for your open work permit. Just book an appointment, okay?
Thank you.
Ethel?
Please, Zelda, please, do you have a question?
Hello. Yes, good afternoon.
Hello, please.
Hello.
Yeah, hi, Glessy. Go on, Glessy.
Hello, good afternoon, Ma'am Lorna. I just want to ask regarding po sa application ko. So I
Yes.
just completed my documents last week. So I'm planning to submit my PR to TR. So you mean, ma'am, do I need to do it online or?
Yes. Excuse me, Ethel, can you mute your phone, please, Ethel? Yeah.
Email that they sent me.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, there's. Okay. Hi, Glassy.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. TR to PR application is only paper-based. And as I was saying earlier, the quota, 30,000 for childcare, has already been filled in. But I'm not sure too, because when you go to the international student application, there is a note there that that stream has already been filled in. But in TR2PR childcare, there's no notification yet that it is closed. Okay, but the number, it shows that it is already been filled in because it's 30,000. So I am not sure. I have a doubt that you can enter now your application if you are on childcare or elderly. Oh, Glassy. If you are under the childcare, you can no longer get into TR to PR application. Hi, Glassy.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Childcare, right?
Yes, ma'am. Childcare.
Yeah. And even if you want to apply for paper-based to go back to regular application under the HCCP, it has already been filled in as well. So you can only apply next year, 2022. Sorry about that, but that's the case now. So filled in na ang childcare this year, ang quota. So, ganun din, filled in na rin ang PR to PR na chance sana. Yeah, what's open now is for the elderly care. Is still open. Yeah, so that's
okay,
the fact. Yeah, so just for now, what you can do, Glassy, is to make sure that you have valid work permit.
Okay.
We wait till regular HCCP application opens in January 2022.
Ate Lorna, Teresa to.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you po.
Tere,
Hi, Tere.
pwede rin ako mag-apply ng open work permit, although kare-receive ko lang, di ba, nung new permit ko. 1 year lang binigay.
Yes,
O
it's your
magpa-appoint ulit
privilege.
ako sa'yo para makita ko yung,
Yeah,
yung
sure.
kagandahan ngayon.
Yeah, so meron kang copy ng iyong confirmation of application in your email. Do not delete that. Okay, we need that.
In my email, the confirmation,
Yeah, they emailed
nawala
you.
siya dun sa spam.
Ala.
Deleted in my spam.
Okay, you go to the trash bin.
But trash bin?
Yeah, you try to locate in your
I just
trash.
kept only the copy that you gave me.
Oh yeah, we can use that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have a copy that you.
Okay.
Okay, that's it.
Okay. Yeah. So
Okay.
book an appointment.
Okay.
Okay.
This Saturday. Okay, thank you, Ate.
Okay, you're welcome.
God bless you.
God bless you too.
Yeah, thank you, Lorna. If anyone have more question, you can email to Lorna or call the telephone number shown on the screen here. And right now, I would like to ask you, all the participants, to complete an evaluation form to help us improve our services. Your names are not recorded in the answer, and the result will be anonymous. There are 9 questions altogether. Please select your choice and scroll down and click the submit button. The submit button will not work if you miss an answer, so please answer all the question. Thank you. And then you can, after this, you can stay to ask more questions or contact Lorna later on.
Hello. Hi, Mark.
Yeah, hi.
This is Alina from IRCC.
Do you see the poll, the question evaluation on your screen yet? Anyone? Oh, sorry.
Mr.
Okay.
Mark, I think
No.
Alina is saying
Oh,
something.
yeah. Oh, yes. Hello, Alina. Yes.
Yes. I just wanted to make one clarification. That,
Yes.
If the participants
So sorry, I don't hear very clearly. Can you say that again, Alina?
Okay, sure. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I just wanted to make one thing clear that if the clients and participants of this session are a Vietnamese Association of refer to settlement workers for assistance, the settlement workers will be able to help them with the with understanding the application and with filling up the application, but settlement workers will not be able to provide any legal advice. And for any legal advice, they should go to a lawyer or an immigration consultant.
Yes.
I am sure Lorna already knows that, so I just wanted to make that clear.
Yes, I understand,
Yeah,
Alina.
Yeah, thank you, Alina, for the clarification.
No problem.